What's happening, family? Listen, I think I'm gonna title this video, "The Game is Just Getting Started After the Discard." And I'm gonna give y'all from the perspective of somebody that couldn't go completely no contact. Because I know a lot of channels out there, we talk about going no contact and staying no contact, like the GOSO method, once you get out and stay out, all of that kind of stuff. But I'm gonna tell y'all from the perspective of somebody that could not go completely no contact, the type of games that the narcissist plays after the fact. So I'm hoping this video helps some of y'all that are in a position to walk away. If you're in a position to walk away, especially if you don't have no kids or no business dealings or nothing like that, man, if you can get out right now, get out and save yourself the headache, save yourself some of the drama and some of the trouble that some of us that couldn't get out had to experience. So I'm gonna tell y'all exactly, like, from the time of the discard all the way up until like present day. So first, if y'all are brand new here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button, and go ahead and hit the notification bell so y'all can get all of the new videos, man. But all right, so the discard hit, right? Now, a lot of y'all that have been following the channel, y'all know that my discard came literally like a day or maybe 2 days after we found out she was pregnant. She just up and, you know, she took me to dinner one night. At the dinner table, she actually went to the bathroom while we were at dinner, peed on the stick, came back to the table, showed me, like, threw the stick on the table, like, "Hey, I'm pregnant." And I'm like, number one, that's like a terrible way to present that to me. But number two, we had actually talked about not getting pregnant and all of that kind of stuff. We were actually using protection and all of that kind of stuff. And in the middle of it, she started pulling it off, all of that kind of stuff. I had explained that in a whole nother video. I'm not gonna go through the whole situation, but basically I was kind of finessed into getting her pregnant. And then as soon as she got pregnant, she just started the ghosting game, started playing, you know, she started playing a little game of, you know, well, first it was like, well, I don't need you. I don't need to be with you. I'm just like my mother. I don't need to be with you. I don't need nobody. I don't need no dude in my life, all of that kind of stuff. And now I'm starting to see, oh, okay, like, this woman has been pursuing me for 10 years, like 10 years repetitively, you know what I'm saying? Like, off and on, she would stick around for a year or two, and then she would just disappear. And she would come back and like pursue me real heavy, and then she would disappear again. And then she would pursue me real heavy. And it seemed like each time it got more intense, more intense, more intense. So like the third time around, I'm getting a little older. Now I'm wanting like stability in my life and all of that kind of stuff. And now her and I are, you know, I'm thinking that we on the same page. So now we dealing with each other this third time around. And you know how they say third time's a charm. I kind of took my opportunity on that because I felt like, hey, we've been dealing with each other off and on. We've always been cool. I've known you since childhood, that kind of thing. So it's like, you know, we never really had no major problems, major issues, other than the fact that she would just pop in, pop out, pop in, pop out. And I didn't really catch what was going on behind the scenes because she would always play it like there was some type of emergency going on in her life where she couldn't really, you know, commit to me in that moment or whatever the case may be. I should, you know, I kind of saw the red flags and I'm kind of like looking at it, but I ain't had no reason to really question her at that time. So, okay. So anyway, the discard comes. As soon as the discard hits, I didn't chase her. Like I knew from a very young age that once people start playing games, not just women, but once people start playing little games with you and stuff like that, I just sit back and let them keep playing their games, and I'm gonna just watch their next move. So she started to distance herself. She started to kind of ghost me, all of that kind of stuff. And when she ghosted, well, she didn't really get a chance to really ghost me because as soon as she stopped replying to me, as soon as she gave me the, well, I don't need no dude, I don't need to be with you, I just didn't chase her no more. Like I left it right there. I was like, okay, bet. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. You want to, you know what I'm saying? She's like, she was coming up with all these excuses. Now, y'all gotta understand that she's pregnant at this time with my very first child. So it was crushing me. It's not like I didn't want to be there, but it was like, what else could I do? You know what I'm saying? Like I was in a position where now this woman is pregnant by me, and, or at least that's what she's telling me. And now she is giving me all these excuses on why she can't be around me, why she needs space. I just need time to think. I just need this and that. And none of that had to do anything with me or anything that I did to her or any of that kind of stuff. So that's when I'm like, I'm like, listen, you've been pursuing me for over 10 years. Now you're pregnant. Now you actually get into a position where we kind of tied to each other, and now you run away. Like, what's going on? So at that time, I didn't know what I was dealing with. I didn't know anything about narcissism or anything like that, but it was just like, I just knew I couldn't chase her. I was like, look, if you want to play stupid, I'm gonna let you go ahead and play stupid. So she disappeared. So a week goes past, I don't chase her, I don't call her, I don't text her, I give her space. Now mind you, again, this is extremely difficult for me to do because I want to know what's going on with the baby. I don't know anything about pregnancy or anything at this time. I don't know how she's doing. I don't know if she is, you know, I don't know what's going on with the baby. I don't know what's going on with her at this time. And a week goes past, no contact. 2 weeks goes past, no contact. About the third week, I guess because she noticed that I wasn't going to chase her, like I said, that's when the game starts. So she texted me after like the third week and was just like, asshole. Like out of the blue, out of nowhere. I haven't done anything to her. Only thing that I did was allowed her to make her decision, and I just made her stand on it. So she said, I need space. I'm just like my mother. I don't need no dude. I don't need this. I don't need that. So I let her do it. And then I guess because I wasn't chasing and because I wasn't like tripping off the fact that she had removed herself, even though inside of me, I was crushed. Like I was inside of me, I'm like, you know, I just didn't show it. Like I didn't show it to her. So she just texted me out of the blue 3 weeks into the no contact and was just like, asshole. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I think I sent her the middle finger emoji like back, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like pissed off at the fact that we're grown adults. Like she was 39 at the time. I think I was 38. She's actually a year older than me. I'm 40 now, so I think she's 41 or maybe going on 42. I'm not even sure. But basically, I'm just looking at the fact that this is supposed to be a grown person, and up to this point, all the way up to her getting pregnant, I never saw any signs of mental illness. Like, or maybe I saw signs of, you know, she did some strange stuff that now I can look back, but because I didn't know that I was dealing with narcissism, or I was dealing with, you know, somebody in the cluster B personality, I didn't realize, you know, that whatever she had going on was as severe as it is. She wore her mask real tight. She wore her mask tight for several years. And I guess on those particular situations when she was popping in and popping out, I guess that's when she was like, her mask was starting to slip and she just had to get away from me. But she made a clean break the first 2 times. So she made such a clean break that it didn't make me feel like our friendship was in jeopardy or anything like that. It just made me feel like, okay, she got some things going on in her life that she needs to tend to, and I'm gonna give her her space. As a good friend, I'm gonna go ahead and give her that space. So now we're still in no contact, and she, like I said, she texted me asshole. So now we've made contact. Now I respond back to that, and that's pretty much all she wanted. So she texts me that, I respond, and then she would disappear again for 2 or 3 weeks. And then the next text, I miss you. So it was like hot and cold. So of course, again, at that time, not knowing what I'm dealing with, now I'm about maybe 2.5 months not really seeing her after seeing her all the time, and now she's pregnant with my child. So she was playing on my emotions. She was like trying to send my emotions up and down, up and down. So she started, you know what I'm saying? First it was asshole. Then the next text, after another 2 or 3 weeks, it was, I miss you. And then I'm like, you know, I miss you too, that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm like, at this time, I'm starting already to detach, because I'm like, what type of grown woman is going to play these type of games, especially with a child involved? So I'm kind of starting to try to detach my own feelings away from the situation, because I'm starting to piece together that there's something extremely wrong going on. I still don't know about like the new supply or any of that kind of stuff. I don't know about any of that yet. I just know that she's pregnant with my child and she's playing these games. And I want to be so involved in my child's life, because, you know, I grew up with not being able to have my father in my life 100% of the time. I split my weekends and I split my summers and that kind of thing, going back and forth with my father. And like I said, the narcissist knew that I didn't want that for my life. She knew that, like, we had talked about all of that kind of stuff, and she knew that that was something that was going to crush me. That was something that was going to hurt me, to be in this position with my son, even now. So she played on that, you know what I'm saying? She tried to use that against me to keep some authority in my life, but I wasn't chasing her. I was just like, you know what? She pregnant with my son. I want to be there. I want to be at all of the doctor's appointments. I want to be involved in all of the planning and all of that kind of stuff, because I didn't see all of this coming. So I'm thinking that, like, at the very beginning of this, I'm like, okay, we planning a baby. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. I was running off and starting different bank accounts and stuff like that for my son before he was even born, and trying to, you know, build upon his stocks, because now I know that I have responsibility here. So I'm trying to give him a head start in life. You know what I'm saying? So I started opening up like stock accounts and stuff for my son, trying to, you know, get a head start for him now that I know he's actually on his way. And I started, you know, preparing my house and preparing, you know, the second bedroom for him to have a room and all of that kind of stuff. Like, I had an actual friend that was staying here when we found out he was renting my second bedroom when we found out that she was pregnant. And so him and I had to have that talk, like, listen, you know, I got a son on the way now. I may need the second bedroom. Like, you're cool right now, but when he comes, you know, I may, you know, need to get my second bedroom back and all of that kind of stuff. And it was kind of like the timing was perfect, because he met somebody and got engaged, and he ended up, you know, moving in with his fiance. So now they're sharing space and preparing for their wedding coming up in July, actually. This is my best friend in the world. Like, you know, I've known him for over 30 something years. I'll introduce him to y'all on the channel. He knows about the channel. He's actually watching on the channel with us. Leonard, salute, man. That's one of my best friends in the absolute world, and definitely my closest and longest friend. I've known him, like I said, since we were about 5 years old, and he's getting married soon. So salute to him, man. I am anxious to be there for you in support of your wedding, man. I love you to death, and I just wish you nothing but the best in your future endeavors, and you know, with your family and your new family, your new wife, and your new daughter. So salute to that, man. Salute to the wedding coming up, July 16th. I may try to post some little clips of the video here so y'all can, you know, get a feel for the wedding and all of that kind of stuff, man. Like I said, it's my closest friend in the world. Okay, so back to the story. So anyway, she, you know, so she was trying to keep me on this up and down roller coaster, up and down, up and down, up and down. Now, me being inquisitive and me just being able to kind of like read the signs of what's going on around me, I immediately felt like, okay, if you was giving me all of this attention and you on my phone 7 o'clock in the morning until midnight most days, and you at my house all the time during the weekends and this, that, and the third, and now you pregnant, but you're not showing yet, And now you got all of this free time. You giving that time and you giving that attention to somebody else. And you giving that time and you giving that attention to somebody else while you're not showing. So they don't even know you pregnant right now. So, you know, I know as hot in the ass as you are, you know what I'm saying? Because we all know the narcissists, like, they go hard with the sex, you know what I'm saying? And the love bombing and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, now you've discarded me. You ain't giving me no time, no attention, and I'm not chasing you. So you got all the freedom in the world to go and love bomb your next victim. I'm starting to put the pieces together, but I still don't, I want to give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt at that time. Like, nah, she wouldn't do that. Like, there's somebody that I've known, like I said again, since childhood. So, nah, she wouldn't do that. Nah, you know, I'm giving the benefit of the doubt in the situation. So, time goes on. She's, you know, more and more and more pregnant. You know, different events is starting to happen in the pregnancy and all of that kind of stuff. And she's still not talking to me. So she's still got me in the devalued stage. She's still, I guess, doing her thing. But anytime she had to send me a message, her best friend, her flying monkey, you know what I'm saying? If y'all are, she sent her flying monkeys to come and pass back and messages back and forth, you know, between her and I. And I'm like, why are you, again, I was like, why are you even involved? Like, why are you involved in anything that's going on right now? Because I didn't lay down with you. I don't have you pregnant. Like, why are you talking to me about any of this kind of stuff? And then she would just be like, well, she asked me to come and talk to you about this, that. And I'm like, wow, do you realize she's a grown woman? You know what I'm saying? Like, she can speak for herself, right? She got herself into this. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, why are you coming and speaking for a grown, this woman is literally almost 40 years old. And it's not like we in any type of beef or anything. I'm just trying to get an understanding and get in front of the situation because we got a son on the way. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to prepare. I like to prepare. I like to be prepared for the things that's coming in my life and things like that. So when she told me she was pregnant, I didn't realize the whole narcissism thing or any of that kind of stuff. And I was excited. I was happy. I was hurt because of how it was done. But I was still happy to have my son on the way. And which is excuse me, which is extremely crazy because I guess she took it like with me being hurt behind how it was done, that I guess, you know, well, I'm gonna just discard him now because he don't want nothing to do with the whole situation. And that's the picture that she painted. So as soon as she discarded me, it gave her time. Now again, she's playing games behind my back. So throughout the time where she's not contacting me other than to text me and say, asshole, this, that, and the third, she has her family and her flying monkeys believing that I just don't want to be involved. She's not telling them that she's treating me like shit. She's not telling them that, you know, she told me that, you know, she's just like her mother and she don't need nobody in her life and all of that kind of stuff. She's not telling any of that part of it. She's just getting them on their side and making it seem like, well, he don't want nothing to do with the baby. You know, he a deadbeat. He don't want nothing to do with him. He don't want, you know what I'm saying? That's the picture that she painted of me. And then also, like I said, her family is from Guyanese culture. She went back to her family and told her family that American black men don't like they don't like Guyanese people. We think we're better than them. We think that, you know, they're trashy and dirty. And I didn't know anything about their culture at all until I got involved with her. So, and when I learned about her culture, like I'm the least racist person on the planet. Like, I love everybody, man. I love humanity. I love good people. You know what I'm saying? I love people with genuine hearts. Like, so I could meet a bum on the street and he could give me some game and I can, you know what I'm saying? And I'll accept that knowledge just like the CEO was telling me something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I respect human beings. I respect life. I respect people's knowledge and people's experience and the differences in people's culture. Like, I like to learn about different things. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have any hatred towards any other races, except, you know, the ones that hate me or hate my race for what it is that we are. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only, and it's not even a hatred in that. It's just, I hate that you feel that way about us. You know what I'm saying? I hate that you judge us before even giving us a chance. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we are the most judged without being given an opportunity to, you know, be equals. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so she was still playing the game. Like, now I'm talking to her representative, her flying monkey, about everything that's going on with the pregnancy. So we're getting closer and closer and closer to the date. Now, like I said, I'm thinking that she is, going to try to completely push me out of the whole pregnancy, because basically that's what she had done. But towards the time that my son was about to actually come into the world, then she started coming and trying to keep a little more communication. So it's like she discarded while she wasn't showing, love bombed her new victim while she wasn't showing. When she started showing, I guess she was kind of breaking away from him to come back to me. And when she tried to come back to me, I just wasn't accepting of it, because I'm like, what type of woman would move like that? What type, still not knowing nothing about narcissism, or, you know, not even really knowing for sure if she is actually dealing with somebody else and cheating and all of that kind of stuff. I don't know none of this at this point yet. I'm just having, my intuition is running high, and I'm just looking at the whole play like, oh, shorty thinks somebody's stupid. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm sitting back and I'm keeping control of myself. And that's why it's important for you guys to, like, stay in control even when you upset. I'm keeping control of myself. And not only am I watching her, but I'm watching her surroundings. I'm watching everybody around her. And I'm like, why would her mother say this? Why would her cousin say that? Why would her brothers move like this or move like that? And I'm like, then I'm starting to notice, oh, it's the whole family against me. It's not just this one particular person. They're able to do the things that they're doing because they have all these other enablers around them. And I didn't realize it. I saw what was going on, but I still didn't realize that this was like a cult, or I didn't realize what narcissistic abuse was. But I just started putting the pieces together like, okay, these people are blindly following her. These people are blindly supporting her, regardless of what she do, what she say. She can't do no wrong in their eyes. I saw that immediately. So I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, what kind of craziness is this? Like, what kind of mess is this? Somebody is completely out here living foul and got all of these supporters. That's like, you know, I mean, it's like, I could not fathom how everybody else around us couldn't see what was going on. Or then I realized it wasn't that they couldn't see it, it was they didn't care. And not only did they not care, they actually was in support of it because she was getting something out of the deal, I guess. And I think that, you know, with her getting older, her family members was kind of asking, hey, when you gonna have another baby? Hey, when you gonna have another, you know? And I think that's why she targeted me for that, because it's like, literally, if she was dealing with somebody else, this is what never made sense to me. If she was dealing with somebody else, and obviously this is the person, so she was dealing with somebody else. She left that person and came to me. I didn't know anything about him at all. When she comes to me, she gets pregnant by me, but then runs back to him. So I to the life of me could not figure out, like, what the hell is going on? Like, why would you leave me and run back to whoever you was with before me after you got pregnant by me? You know what I'm saying? Why didn't you just get pregnant by him and stay with him and create your family there? Still not, again, at this time, at the discard, it took me about, I'd say, a year, maybe a year and a half to actually learn that I was dealing with narcissism. You know what I'm saying? It took me that long to figure it out. I saw the red flags. I saw what I was dealing with. I didn't know the name of it. And I knew that I had to get away from it. I immediately, like from the very beginning of the discard, I just started distancing myself because I saw it was just a lot of games being played. Now, of course, I wasn't able to go completely no contact because she had my son on the way. And like I said, I wanted to be involved as a father, and she played on that. She used the fact that she knows that I wanted to be at all of the doctor's appointments. She knows that I wanted to be here and there, and I wanted to be involved in all of, I wanted to be involved in the whole process of my son being born. Because that's just something that I thought about all my life. That's something that I just wanted to be. I always wanted to be a great father. You know what I'm saying? If nothing else, if I failed at everything else, I'm going to be a great father. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw how important of a role a father was in my own personal life when I was growing up as a childhood, and some of the things that I lacked from my father being addicted to drugs, heroin and cocaine and crack and a few other things, man. But anyway, so now time is still going on. She's still on the fence, like she's trying to pull me back into the mix. I can tell she's dealing with somebody else, but that's when she started calling. Well, first she texted me. Now, let's just speed it up a little bit because I don't want this video to be, it's already almost 30 minutes. My son is born. There's a whole bunch of stuff in between, and I'll let y'all know everything in between, but it's a lot of stuff in between that it was just a lot of games being played. She was just playing game after game, and most of it was text messages. She's sending me stuff on text messages. She's sending me stuff on WhatsApp, and none of it is relevant to us about to have this child. You know what I'm saying? None of it is helpful. None of it is helpful to what we got going on right now. None of it is going to help us co-parent any better or any of that kind of stuff. I'm trying to figure out how we can co-parent, and it seems like everything that I was trying to do, everything that I was trying to say, she had something to go against it. Even with the bank accounts, even with me, like, listen, before he gets here, I can start putting up a certain amount of money out of each one of my bank accounts so we can get a little bit of a head start in front of the situation. She had a problem with that. Like, she had a problem with everything that I suggested towards this child. So she finally, now this is the crazy thing. When we started talking about, I'm gonna rewind a little bit and then I'm gonna come back forward. So when we started talking about the baby's name, this is after she was, her abuse had ramped up. She had started doing all kinds of stuff. She's telling me she's gonna come over and not coming over. And then I don't hear from her for 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm like, you said you was gonna come over, like, what happened? You know what I'm saying? And she just playing all these roller coaster up and down games. I don't hear from her. Then when I do hear from her, it's like, oh, nothing happened. You know what I'm saying? She don't even want to talk about any of the stuff that she's done, all of that kind of stuff. I'm like, all right, whatever, And my mother, hang on, y'all, my son just woke up. I'm gonna finish the video. I'm gonna come back and finish the video, y'all. Hang on, my little boy just woke up.